The Halo Infinite Winter Update is good. You thought today, because of the title, the thumbnail, that it was bad. No, it's actually some good positive news for Halo. Now you're here on the video, let's talk more about this winter update. Check the timestamps below to skip to whichever part of the video you want to. Why not leave a like as well, be much appreciated, and subscribe to the channel as well for plenty more content coming. I mean, when there's going to be story content for Halo, you know it's covered here, so if that's what you're into, or story content going across the gaming industry, then stick around. But without further ado, let's dive straight in. So to begin with, let's start about everything that I personally really like about this update, starting off with campaign. Campaign network co-op and mission replay are obviously features that were missing within the first year of Halo Infinite's release, and they've been missed drastically. And now they're here. It's really upgraded the way to play through this campaign and relive its story. Throughout the first year of this game coming out from a campaign and story perspective, I visited the Silent Auditorium 3 times. 3 times I was only able to visit this amazingly designed place and not really appreciate fully how well it was designed, the structure, how well some of the objects were done, the statues around the place, and the actual room you fight the Harbinger in. It's such an amazing place in the Halo universe and within Halo Infinite, and it's a massively key place as well. And being able to only play through it 3 times, that's only because I've played through the campaign 3 times, full 6-hour playthroughs in one sitting. Imagine the normal or average person that's only played through it once. They've visited this room once in that entire year, so you've probably missed loads of different things. Loads of stuff that you weren't able to go back and look at unless you would completely play through the whole thing again. So mission replay is such a key and fundamental feature to go back and find things you've missed. I mean, it's not like MCC or any of the previous games where you can go into the campaign menu and choose the specific mission you want to replay. That wasn't in Infinite, so you had to do the entire playthrough to be able to find those collectibles towards the end of the campaign, or to revisit a section that you thought was really cool and wanted to explore and look around a bit more, you know? So on a personal level for me, mission replay was one of those things I was looking forward to the most, just from a content perspective, but also to revisit those sections that I really liked in the campaign, the Silent Auditorium being the main one. And of course, staying on the topic of campaign, network co-op was also released alongside mission replay, and what is there to say that I haven't already said about campaign co-op? It is just so much better to play with friends throughout this game. The amount of comments and things I get on my videos around Halo and around split screen being canned and stuff like that is just that everyone enjoys playing it with family members. They enjoy playing it with friends from back in the day, which have played the original Combat Evolved on split screen, and then coming into this game and being able to play it co-op. Split screen, bit of a rip there, but being able to play it co-op is just so much better. Relive, go back and have that nostalgia of the previous lore and go into the lore of the new game. I loved the opportunity to play with friends on this game and play through it, and all the playthroughs I've done with you guys on this as well. It's been such a blast, so much fun, and I can't wait for future DLC content or future Halo games to bring additional story details and yeah, story progression. So that's a big thing I'm looking forward to there as well. Look, they're fully canned split screen. I don't know if it's ever going to come back, whether they'll revert that decision at any point. You can literally glitch into split screen right now and play it if you wanted to, so that option is there if you wanted to go ahead and do that. But I would only suspect that they would try and make it available, make it a priority for the next Halo game or the next iteration of DLC. Multiplayer wise, it's fun, and match XP really changes the game for how the gameplay plays, how matches turn out as well. I found that a lot of the time players are trying to go for more objective plays when I've personally played, just because you get extra XP, and a lot of the challenges have been reworked to prevent you from having to play certain modes and do certain things and play certain ways within these modes to not really make it so your team are playing as a team and they're just trying to do stupid pistol challenges or get ridiculous kills with flags or whatever it might be. So I like the changes there. I think it's just overall benefited the way that Halo Infinite's multiplayer flows and feels, which is always a really good positive thing as well. But personally, to be quite honest with you guys, I'm not really a huge advocate of 6v6 arena modes anymore. I think maybe I've just grown out of it from playing it all of these years. I don't know. I'm just not as engrossed in it as what I used to be from back in the day, and I think that's just come with age now, to be quite honest. And I prefer the more tactical feeling game modes, like those extraction modes such as Tarkov, Hunt Showdown, the Battle Royale feel, or even the PvE feel. For me, they have more meaning to a 6v6 mode, and that's just personally what I like. I'm not saying here that this is bad at all, because the changes they've made to multiplayer are well overdue, and they are very, very welcomed in my opinion. I love the match XP as well. I think the winter update, the battle pass, is really, really good. I really like the ability to be able to unlock so many pieces of armor in that battle pass compared to the first season's one. Look, overall for me, I really enjoyed it. I think I'm still enjoying it. I'm actually playing through it, bearing in mind to try and get this battle pass finished because I want the Mark V helmet. I'm not sure if they've made any changes in the theater mode side of Halo Infinite, but when I did go into it and test it and look back on a bit of footage, it seemed pretty smooth. I don't know if they've changed anything, improved anything in the quality of life improvement update they put out the other week. And then finally, how could we forget, moving on to Forge, which is the biggest thing with this update as well. Forge has been out for 5 minutes and we've already seen some insane builds come in Halo Infinite. A rendition of High Rise, which I played through and thought that this was absolutely amazing and must have took someone absolutely ages to create. Someone recreated Nuketown as well, which is always a fun classic to go back to, especially in the likes of visiting it in Halo. And of course the racetracks, how can we forget that? Loads of those have been created and they're all really, really fun. So I've got to give commendations to the people that have created those as well. And brings back loads of Halo Reach memories for me personally. And of course the sheer talent of the community just being completely unmatched. Now though, let's move on to some of those things that aren't necessarily amazing. They're not overly negative or points that I'm just going to shit on the game. This is just honest feedback as to stuff that I thought that I probably would have liked to have seen in there as well, or bits I think could have been improved. For example, the first one would have been the custom games browser. I know that it's mentioned by 343 that this is coming at a later date, and fair enough, they may not have been ready or whatever it might have been, but this would have been something that would have made took Forge to that next level with it being introduced around the winter update as well. Just navigating those menus right now, the UI in general for Halo Infinite is not very good at all, and this menu is just cluttered. You don't really know what you're looking at. You've kind of got to visually look at every single map rather than have them in sections or categorization. There's none of that. Look at maps that are similar to that, just filter out racetracks, filter out I don't know, duck hunt maps, whatever it might be. There's nothing to do with that. You've got to sift through everything manually and try and find the one you want. And you could go into that one that you think you wanted and it'd be a bit crap. Then you have to go back to the menu again and then start from number 1 and go all the way back to that again. With there being about 600-700 pages, the ones all the way at the very end aren't going to get the same love as the ones at the beginning. So they need to figure something out there. It's not a very good system, to be honest, and I think the UI doesn't really help with that situation either. And I'd love to be able to follow creators on Halo Infinite. I'd love to be able to follow Red Nomster. I'd love to be able to follow Infinite Forges. I would love to be able to follow all of these creators from Forge to be able to play their maps and go through things like that, you know? But we just don't have that at the moment. So we'll have to wait and see if 343 adds stuff like that in, more community-driven features for Forge, because ultimately it's a community-driven mode. So as many of those as possible from 343 would make this game and increase its longevity overall. So hopefully that's something that they're going to bring in. Also, the final thing for this, why is the pit not there at the beginning? Understandably, there are 2 new maps, Argyle and Detachment, but adding the pit in there as well and having 3 maps in multiplayer arena would have made this really, really fun. I like the 2 new maps, but I seem to never really get them that much in the rotation. I always seem to get original maps in the rotation more than I do with Argyle and a Detachment. If there was a 3rd one in there, maybe that they could increase the amount of times they show up, but you just don't really get that feeling. Well, I haven't personally in the time that I've played. But you do have to remember as well, this event is going to last a couple of months as well. So from now until March, this event will be active. There'll be 2 new different themed events. So you have a Christmas one, then you'll have the fire event, something like that in January. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the events and maps and modes and whatever it might be for those as well. Looking forward to that, and I feel like this update for me was a big win. It was a massive win for 343 to put this update out. They could not have left it until March to have no update. That would have just not been very good at all for the health of this game or the health of the community. But issues like desync and stuff, fixes are coming for those towards the end of the year as well. They did say there was an additional quality of life update coming out before the end of 2022, so we'll have to see what that has in there. But guys, that is going to be everything for today. A quick review of this event. Overall summary is very good. I think everything they've added in here is definitely a welcomed, especially the likes of Forge, some of the weapon balancing changes as well, which are definitely needed. The 2 new maps are very, very good, and yeah, that's all I've got to say about it really. And of course the campaign stuff, it's not DLC, but it just allows you to go back and look at those additional things that you may have missed or that you want to go back and replay, or story elements that you want to go back and have a look at again. Simple as that. But guys, that is it for today's video. Leave a like if you have enjoyed, subscribe if you guys are brand new as well, it'd be very much appreciated. And without further ado, we'll see you all in the next video. God of War video coming out later today, so stick around for that. See you later.